Hey everyone, this is the Meta-Two
Everyone.
AfterShow on bodyslam.net. um, you have me, Shay Sawyer, and then we have this amazing lady to my left or right. It might be right. I might be on the wrong side. I'm so sorry. Tell everyone how you're doing today, Miss Lovely in
I am okay. It's been a day. I am okay, but I'm happy to be here. How are you?
you know, the first NXT without Mr. Goatee, I didn't know if I was gonna make it through, but you know what? We did. We made it through. So you know what? I'm doing fine with that feat out of the way. But we do have some NXT, the second night of Spring Breakin. There was a lot going on tonight. We got some returns, some shocking things. So I'm excited to talk about it. Hello, hey Roderick, how are you? Um, all right. So I mean, the show starts off with them doing a montage, celebrating Trick's win. Everyone's happy. The whoop dat era, which I don't like because I feel like why I feel like we could have came with something a little bit cuter. Whoop dat is a little bit too much. Whoop dat era is a little bit too much for me to say. I want one word and then era. I can't do all that extraness. So we're gonna have to go to the drawing board, Trick, and we'll come back and we'll work something else. Um, but how are you feeling a week after the big win from Trick after for so many weeks is what everyone's been clamoring for. How do you feel about it finally happening and just seeing how everyone's so excited about it?
I mean, good for them, I guess, like good for people being for this era. I am not for this era, but I am glad that people are for the era. I am glad that people are excited. Hopefully, it won't be like in 2 weeks they're complaining because I just feel like you can never really be sure with wrestling fans. Um, but yeah, no, I'm for the fans if they're happy, good for them. But me, I'm just like, no, I am sad. I am devastated. And after the draft yesterday, I'm even more sad because, so here.
Yeah, no, I understand. Um, I'm gonna give it a chance because I do like Trick. Do I like him more than the previous NXT champ? No, but I'm gonna give him that chance to kind of grow on me. Like it's not that I don't like him; it's just that I don't know if he was the person I would want to be the NXT champ at the moment. But not that I don't want him to be at all, because I think he's really, really he is the full package. Like he looks fantastic. He looks like a star. Like he talks like a star. He is. So I'm gonna give him a chance. But he was out talking, and I loved like he's really good with like talking to the audience and just kind of like getting everyone involved. And then you have the beautiful Lash Legend that comes out, and I also love that he gave praise to Dragunov. I love that because exactly as you should, like just give him his flowers. That's all I ask. But Lash Legend, oh my goodness, she looked so good. It was sickening how good that she looked. And just seeing their back and forth, the back and forth between Lash Legend and Trick Williams. I'm sorry when when he said the Kit Kat line, and he's like, "You want to break me off?" So I was like, "Oh, we're getting a little bit serious in here. It's getting a little intense. I don't know if I should be in the room for this." But we were. And I loved it. Honestly, really, really loved it. The crowd added to it. And it's not too often that the crowd is not getting on my nerves. So you know what? We have to take that. We have to take those wins. I wonder what was in that envelope. I'm very like intrigued by it. What were your thoughts on the segment though?
No, it was cool. I definitely do think, as the comment says, the dress was given. The dress, the dress was giving. But no, I thought it was cool. Um, it kind of got me a little semi hype for it. I was like, okay, all right, all right. I liked that the crowd also as Free also said, that the crowd teams are really into it as well, and so I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Roger can't help himself. Um, then we have the opening. This is the one thing I also really, really love about NXT. When they have their little like the show special event shows, they always have like cool openings, and they'll have like one specific act in NXT do it, which I always find cute. I think it's a really cute addition. So them having Ariana Grace and Georgina sitting at the table, kind of going over, the matches for the night and kind of adding in their little funny banter. I liked it. And it's kind of like a little, we're getting crumbs right now with the whole Georgina, Ariana Grace stuff. But I need to get a little bit more because we still haven't seen her do her makeover. I'm ready for the makeover because that's when the real mayhem is going to start with the whole Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolan fiasco. But what do you think so far about their dynamic with this whole little dinner they had?
I liked it. We've been saying, I do want them to give us a little bit more. I feel like they're doing very little teases, like between the two of them. I feel like it's like, here's a little something something, and then and I want to really see them, like, if you're gonna go this route, if you're gonna have this thing where, Gigi Georgina, um, if you're gonna do this, then they gotta go all in. You gotta go all in, and like I get, like, I'm okay with like little, but it feels like it's giving so little that I'm like, all right, this is like the equivalent of when somebody is telling, like, whenever you watch a TikTok story and then you wait for the part and the person be like, I'll be back with the next part, and then they're gone, and you're like, oh, and you're trying to get drama, but you can't because they are gone for a very long. And when come back like a month talking about, oh, hey, part two, like, girl, no, we're let's not do that. And so I would just need them just a little bit, just a little tad to just give us a little bit more. But I do like the dynamic. I do think, like, I feel like this is what Gigi needed, to be fair, because she wasn't really doing much in regards to, like, I felt like she was a bit lost a bit in the shuffle, with what's going on. And after, the whole breakup of Toxic Attraction thing with JC, I felt like she really did a thing with, like, it seems like it was too, that this is the way to get it. But I'm with it. I'm with it as long as we get some more.
No, yeah, definitely want to see a little bit more because I've been saying like this is definitely what Gigi needs to kind of just give a little bit more depth, I guess, for her. Yeah, she just needs that pop off story, that pop off like moment, and I think we're on the precipice of this. Um, so yeah, now getting into the actual show. Let me get my handy dandy notebook. Sorry. We have Oba Femi versus Ivar. Or as Georgina said, big meaty men slapping meat. So let's get into that. Um, think good things from this match, honestly, because I feel like Ivar is like such a underrated like wrestler a lot of times. I feel like only recently now everyone's like, oh, this guy, he wrestles. Like, and Oba is honestly like, I'm not gonna lie, like in the beginning, I had this face. I was like this. I was like, let me see what you could do first. Okay, because I didn't really know anything about him before he came to NXT, and I just didn't know what he's gonna bring to the table. But he's been knocking it out the park. He really has been. Like, he's really made a fan out of me. Like, I can't deny. I can't deny when someone's just knocking it out of the park. Like, what do you want me to do? So I did enjoy this. I enjoyed the crowd chanting meat. Ivar with his spin kicks and the moonsault. That moonsault scared me a little bit because he kind of landed up a little bit high towards Oba's face. I said, oh! I had got scared for a minute. But this was a fun match. I like the kind of torture rack-esque move that Oba hit on Ivar. That was cute as well. Obviously, Oba ends up winning. I didn't think Ira was gonna win. I just feel like Oba's on a really, really, really good run right now, and it doesn't even feel like it's the right time for him to drop it. So yeah, I just didn't think that. But the biggest part of this whole thing is, and I feel like this is such a great thing because I think we both were feeling the loss of a Dragunov, and to have Wesley back and he's cleared, my smile could not be any bigger. I was so happy to see him. Like, as you know, I don't want to be corny, but business has picked up, as they say, like most definitely. So what were your thoughts on everything and this huge return?
I was happy. We haven't seen Wesley in a little bit. We haven't seen him in a little bit, and so it was really good to see him, especially considering how that went down with him in the belt anyway. But I definitely do like Oba Femi. I do like that he's like just I don't know. I feel like I'm really funny about how a big guy is presented. And so I think they're presenting him really well. And so I'm with it, and I'm definitely happy about Wesley because that was my guy. That was my guy multiple times, and then I was like, oh no, and I definitely did think he was going to be out a lot longer than he was. And so I'm glad not that I want him to be out longer, but you know what I mean. Like I'm glad he actually got better and was able to get in, get on here, get back to NXT with like pretty quickly. I felt like the time went by pretty fast. Actually, I feel like then when he said he was gonna go, he was like all sad about it. Like I feel like that was pretty cool. And so and to the last comment in regards to him getting his title back, yes, because technically he didn't like it wasn't lost. I guess lost away. It was kind of like one of that weird thing, I guess, until he gets back to the title picture. But I'm good. I'm good with it. I'm super happy that he's back.
Yeah, no, me as well. I just think it almost feels like everything is in its right place because we have Wesley back, and I really like. I don't know. I think it's like because I remember it was something with his back, right? And for me, when it comes to the back or the neck, when it comes to wrestlers, I'm like, you don't even just take your time. Just take your time because that is no joke. You cannot play with those two things specifically, like. So I'm just very happy of how fast it feels like he came back so quickly. Unless time, honestly, I'm not good with time. So maybe he has been long and I'm just crazy. So now we have, I knew it. Now I'm gonna get into this because this is the meat and potatoes. This is the juiciness. Fallon Henley. So Thea called herself begging Fallon to come out and help her. I mean, I'm just saying. The minute Fallon was like, I don't really want to, I said, oh, something's up. But we'll get into that after the match. We have Thea Hale with the whole block. She came out with Chase U. Every university was behind her. The way it seemed like it was mad people out there for her. Versus JC Jane with Jasmine. I always get the last name messed up. Please pray for me. The Pele girl, because she be doing that Pele kick. I'm like, you know what, Pele girl. I'm kidding. But yeah, no, this match. You know what? I think that they have a pretty fun chemistry between Thea and JC. I enjoyed this. JC, we don't really get to see her do a lot of singles matches very often. So it's always nice when we get it because we get a reminder of how good she actually is in the ring. I feel like she's so good with the character stuff, and she's always so deeply involved in all these storylines that she isn't wrestling that much because she's carrying so much on the other end. But it's always nice when we do get to see her in the ring because I do think she is really, really good. I always felt like for me when Toxic Attraction was a thing that she was always the most like sound in ring wise. Personally, that was just what I took from it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this match. I think the right person won. I don't even know when JC busted her nose. Like, I didn't see when it happened. But man, it was messy. And I hate that for her, and I hope she heals up soon. The ending, it kind of like, I don't want to say it didn't make sense to me. It was just kind of like they could have, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird to me, the whole ending part. But obviously we knew that Thea was going to win. I'm happy that she won. So we can move on to something else. I feel like this Chase U JC thing has been going on for 700 years, and I have moved on, and I would like them to as well. Fallon then turns on Thea, as I kind of could feel was coming. Fallon is tired of what we've been telling her to be tired of. Isn't that crazy? We've been telling her, stay out of people's business. I'm just saying, guys. What is your thoughts on this whole thing?
You know what? About time. And you know, Fallon gets on my nerves. She really does. She irritates me like very few people can. With that being said, this is on her. This is on her. You can't be mad about you want to be tired after you was the one involved. You involved yourself, okay? And so you involved yourself, and then she's like, all right, I'm gonna use you for my services. And then it's like, oh, now you want to be tired? No, that's on you, Thea. That's on you. And so while we have been tired of Thea for a while, we have been. We have been. We've been saying that girl clearly needs to get together. She clearly realized it was on her. She did. Fallon, this is what you get. It shouldn't have taken all this. You should have been upset the first time you got yourself involved. You should have been upset. You should have been, you know what? This got nothing to do with me. Let me find some business that minds me. That's what you should have done. And now look. Here we are. So I can't say I necessarily feel bad for Fallon. I'm like, well, girl, we've been saying this. Did you not hear us? We were speaking it. We told you. You should have heard. You should have heard us for weeks, weeks, maybe months. It's on you. I can't feel bad for that. You know, don't do that. We are fed up. Me and Shay are fed up. We are fed up. City girls are fed up. Okay, we fed up because she was doing too much. That's what you get.
Jeffrey, I'm a 90s baby. So the minute you wrote that line, I sang it in my head exactly as you know how it sounds. I'm not even gonna get into it. But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited and intrigued by this turn. We'll see, because you know what, Fallon, you get a fan out of me if you really do your thing. Yeah, okay, Jeffrey, good. I'm glad it wasn't just me that literally sang that out when you wrote it. So we now, why would they do this? Now this is where it started getting really ridiculous to me. What was going on? You had these guys debut, Tyson and Tyreek, I believe. That's just for them the next week to lose. I believe this was their debut match to the Good Brothers. Now, me, I like the Good Brothers. Make me laugh. They're funny to me, so I don't mind when they win, but I don't understand why they won in this particular moment. It made no sense. What is the point of the promo packages and the hype? Just for them to loot like that? I was just like, my flabbers were gasted, as they say, you know, because I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even want to go over it, because what is there to go over? The match was mad short. They did the Magic Killer, done. I'm just a little bit confused here. I'm just very confused. You know what? I'm going to throw it to you, Kat. You please, if you could put some sense on this, because I don't have any sense for this.
Yeah, I actually didn't understand that either. I just, I don't know. I just feel like there's ways to go about this, and this was not it. Never. Um, never. I don't know. I didn't understand it either, and like to do all of that for that to be the outcome, it's just like, I mean, okay, I guess. Um, I don't yeah, I just I don't understand it. It made no sense. I have my issues, as you guys already know, about certain people, but like, I'm like, come on, guys, like, what was the point of making such a big deal if this is how, like, I'm sorry, don't do that, don't do the shenanigans, like the Jack point, don't do that. Ron is cool, but don't do that. But yeah, just like yeah, I can't. I'm with you on that one. I didn't understand it. I feel like, what's the point of doing this much hyping up or this much leading up to it for that to be the way it was? And I was like, what was the point? We didn't need that then. We didn't need that then. It would have been fine. It would have been like, this was one of those times that Sean dropped the ball. Okay. This is one of those times that he dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. I don't know. I just didn't understand it, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe next week they'll touch more on it and we'll get like a explanation of some sorts, because I don't know. We get a little video of them talking about the people who were, drafted. I wanted to kind of go over the people that were drafted and where they went to. SmackDown got the raw end of the deal. No pun intended. I think SmackDown only got like 2 people. But I'm going to go over the list. Lyra to Monday Night Raw. We got Dragunov to Monday Night Raw. We got Braun Breaker to Monday Night Raw. Kiana James and Dijak, all for Raw. Now, what I'm going to say is I genuinely think that Kiana James is going to be the dark horse pick, like the most beneficial pick from this. No shade, because I'm a big Dragunov fan, but I think Kiana is really going to provide. Like, I really do. I just think she's so well-rounded. But that's just my thought process. What were your thoughts about the Raw side? Actually, I'm just going to say the SmackDown because it was literally 2 people, Blair Davenport, and I believe Carmelo Hayes as well. What are your thoughts on like where people were sent out to and who you think is going to be that the pick that's going to provide the most?
Dragunov, probably. I feel like unless they do a swerve like with it, and then all of a sudden he's not getting booked properly. I feel like because he's basically leaving like as a former champion, like he just lost it, a week ago. I feel like that's somebody who's really going to be. I do think that maybe in regards to Blair, that this might be the reason, maybe she'll get something put behind her where it's not, oh man, what's going on here with her? Why hasn't she like progressed past this part, or whatever the case may be? I do think this is the perfect way to do it. Kind of start her off a little bit fresh. I do think she has the skill set for it, and so hopefully, we get that. Kiana, I was happy with, but again, I feel like hopefully what she does translate to the main roster. You know how I feel like main roster fans are very different than NXT fans. And NXT fans can really be annoying as well sometimes, but I just feel like main roster fans are even more annoying when it comes to how they act. And you can kind of see that sometimes with the differences of how they react to people coming up there. And so we'll see. Hopefully it translates well over that the rest of who might not be as familiar with NXT as we are, it'll translate over for her. But I am sad. It's like I'm happy for Dragunov, but I'm also sad because again, the king has left us. He has left Tuesdays, and it's just not right. It's not right. Like every day I have to act. We just get further away from righteousness. Okay, and these are one of those times. But no, I do think that it's cool that I do feel like they got a lot of NXT people. and I thought was pretty awesome, honestly, to see them like, and I seem really excited. I think Lyra, if done well, is gonna probably do some stuff awesome too on Raw, and so I'm excited for them. But I just me being semi biased because I'm so sad that he lost. It's my jacket off.
But I have a feeling he's gonna do his big one on Raw, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for that. It needs to be Monday, tomorrow. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. I think it's a good batch of people, and it's gonna be really cool to see how things pan out for them. And to answer your question, I think Izzy Dame and Jasmine Nix, they just got started in NXT. So, they need that time in there still. So I'm not shocked that Izzy didn't go with Kiana. I think Izzy still needs to be in NXT and, figure out what's for her, as opposed to what's for Kiana. So that's just my response to you, Roderick. The next segment we have is the women's North American title announcement from Ava. Basically, they're going to have the same thing, a ladder match. I believe it's going to be a battleground. We had some of the women. I don't know if it's going to be all those specific women that are involved, but we had some select women come out. Miss Jada Parker. I love her. Like, oh my goodness. She literally walked out and owned it from the entrance down to the ring to the whole. Honestly, she kept a really good hold on the whole segment. Like, you could hear her the whole time. She made sure she was known and present throughout the entire segment, which is great. Like, she's just fantastic. She really is so good. Once she gets her in-ring to the same level as her presence and her mic skills, it's really over. Girls, just hide under a table. It's over. It really is. So I loved when she came out and kind of said, yeah, I'm winning it. It's over. Like, I'm a star. This is it. Exactly. Then we have Solruka, another person on the rise. And I'm also noticing she's actually getting much better with her mic skills, because that was one thing that I was kind of about her, is I feel like she was such a good in-ring, but I feel like she sounded like she wasn't as comfortable. It wasn't even like she didn't sound good on the mic. She just didn't sound like she was comfortable. She sounded super comfortable tonight. I loved it. And that just makes me so happy because I'm such a fan of hers. We then had the amazing Ariana Grace come out preaching about, guys, let's be civil. She's just so good at her, which she's putting out, Ariana, the woman that you are. And then we have Michin. Hello, ma'am. I loved it. I also love when they have the kind of some people go down, some people go up, some people go down. I think that's so great to just keep it with people having something to do. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if she was the inaugural winner. Why not? Why not, Michin? And I love how she just got tired of hearing Ariana talk, which it seems to be how every person reacts to Ariana, which is violence. Even though she's saying, please don't be violent, that's just how they respond to her. And then all the women came out, they brawled. I'm so excited. And I love when they do the whole with the women coming out talking. Every time NXT does one of these segments, it's always one of my favorite things to go on for the entire show. So this was no different. What were your thoughts on this?
I thought it was nice. I did like with regard to Jada. I definitely do think that she's somebody that definitely once she gets certain things tuned, I think she'll be great, like really great. I feel like she has a few things already working for her, and this is definitely going to be it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if she can get that, I think everything else will continue for Lance to play. As far as Michi, I'm okay with her, because I felt like she was up there, but then, it never, it wasn't, they never gave her much to do, and then, then she was fired, and then they brought her back again, but then again, they really didn't give her enough to do. And so I am perfectly fine with her being here, and I actually wouldn't mind that either, as far as, her being the inaugural North America. I wouldn't even mind it, honestly, because I do think that this will give her something. This is a nice way. If you want to give a good boost to somebody on the roster and somebody who might not have been as utilized as properly as she could be, this would probably be a way to do it, I think. Do I think the North American title is good? Yes, I do. I do think that it's needed. I am iffy about those tag titles, but that's just me. I just feel like they never did the tag titles well with the women for some reason. It just doesn't seem to hit the way it should. But I feel like this is an opportunity for this North American Championship to really make it matter. And I think I wouldn't even mind if she's the one that is the inaugural champion. And but I thought it was really, I liked it. I was like, okay, all right, bringing me back, after being irritated by other people, reel me back in. So I liked it.
No, yeah, definitely. It definitely got me excited about it. I would say probably I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Raw. I'm gonna switch out. I was gonna say SmackDown. I'm gonna say Raw. See, I'm saying Raw. Do you have what do you think it might be? Raw, SmackDown, NXT?
For
the return of Uncle Howdy.
Maybe Raw. I feel like maybe if you have it returned there, and if it seems like there's no like it's I guess what is it, undrafted or free agents. That's the perfect way if you want to play with this, to play it for both shows for a little bit. This is the perfect way to do it. To maybe have a debut happen on Raw, but don't draft necessarily yet. And that way you can kind of give to both shows, and that way you can kind of give the option to kind of play off this return, or I guess because he was there but he wasn't. I feel like Uncle Howdy was there but he wasn't there. Like he was there, but it wasn't no actual or any of that. And this is the perfect time to do it. And I do think the way to do it would probably be to start with Habit. And just to the comment that says all three brands, maybe, but I don't necessarily think you need to do it for NXT just yet. You already have a couple of semi people, crazy weird people on there now, and so I feel like you don't want to derail too much from the NXT, especially with a lot of the people who's kind of trying to find their footing still, or probably okay, some people left, so now we can finally get out time. I feel like that might take away from an extent, so maybe not NXT, but I would be fine if it's on Raw or SmackDown, and that way you can kind of drag it a bit for what you want to do with the character. But I'm gonna say Monday Night Raw, but I do think I think he should be undrafted for a bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Meechin or Fallon Henley. Yep. Oh, I bet you never think I would say that. Do you have anyone in mind to be the inaugural?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I wouldn't mind if it wasn't Meechin as well. I mean, I know you said Fallon. Maybe if they're trying to push her again.
Shake it up a bit.
I wouldn't mind it being Meechin just because, again, I felt like they didn't do her right before. This is a way to kind of make amends for that slightly.
This is blasphemous. Come on, stop. That's blasphemous right there. Now moving on. Let me get my handy dandy notebook back up on it. I just remembered it. We have the Street Profits backstage with Axiom and Nathan Frazier giving them some words of encouragement. Montez Ford is freaking hilarious in his line of saying, "Never slow down." It says, "See, I watched the product." Montez, I'm so literally, I watch the product every Tuesday. What were your thoughts on this whole segment? Because they honestly had me cracking up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was fine with it because he's funny, and I'm like, all right, this is a perfect I thought it was nice to do it. If people didn't check out NXT, that was probably the way to do it. Have somebody like Montez who's actually really fun, who's really funny to me, who makes me laugh, and usually just does well with how he interacts with people. So I was fine with him saying it. Honestly, I was like, all right, he right. I watch it too. When he said it, we both watching. We watch the products, so I was okay with that.
Listen, that will be something serious. We get a rematch, we get that fire rematch, and then we get that matchup. Don't get me started, because I'll start acting so ignorant if this actually happens. If this happens, like, I'm gonna be so ignorant about it because I'm gonna be so excited. But we now have a random rematch that I feel like none of us needed at all. Ridge Holland versus Shawn Spears. Because why was they do? I don't know. I guess they wanted Ridge to get his win back, which he did. The match was it wasn't a lot about it. It's a pretty basic match. I'm really confused as to what's going on, because it's like sometimes it feels like nothing's going on with Ridge, and then he's winning again. Then he's losing. Then he's winning a lot again. I don't know what's going on with this specific situation. I kind of thought it was going to go the route of him kind of becoming like muscle for Shawn Spears, which I think, would be great. I think they'd be a great little duo. Shawn spent most of the match trying to provoke Ridge anyways to do it. So it's like, did he really win? Did he really win? That's all I'm saying, because it feels like Shawn has him completely on the mental side, which some would say is more important than having them on the physical side. I don't know. That's just my thought process. But this was what it was. Ridge got his win back. I don't know what this means or where we go from here. This is the most confusing storyline, and not for like, oh, it's so confusing, it's great, I don't know what's going on. No, it's I don't know what's going on, and I'm upset about it. That's what it is. So what were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this at all. I didn't care. And I'm just like, I thought, I feel like I say this every time he's back on my TV after he said he was going. But if he was going, why am I still seeing you? Like, you said you was going to go. So go. Like, gosh. Like, I don't know. We didn't need this match. This was definitely like, they wanted to kill some time. This was the perfect time to stretch. If he was sitting for a long period of time, get a stack. We didn't ask for this. I was just like, okay, all right, you're still trying so hard to be relevant or important in any capacity. I don't know, but yeah, I really truly didn't care because I don't know, something about him just doesn't entertain me. Something about him, I don't feel concerned enough to be like, oh, what happens next? Where is this going? I have none of that. So like,
I think at this point, I just want to know, just to know. Like, I love spoilers at this point. I just want to know. So that's where I'm at with this. I just want to see it, just to know, like, where it goes. And honestly, Misfit, I hope this is where it goes. It's not a want, it's a need. I need to see Roxanne versus Julia. Desperately. So if we could get that, Roxanne, girl, I love you, but you gonna hold on to that title. As upset as you was tonight, you gonna hold on to it until this lady coming to NXT and take it from you. You're gonna do it. And then after that, girl, you go wherever you want. You can go wherever you want, girl. Sunday Night Heat, wherever. Go, but not yet. So we are now. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. So yeah, speaking of, Roxanne was very upset. She was very upset. She was like, why wasn't I drafted? Which, I love that they answered it. I feel like they weren't too specific about NXT. Like, they didn't really mention NXT, but I mean, once they said the whole champions were exempt, I assumed it meant like champions even on NXT, even though they didn't really specify it too much with NXT. I wonder who Ava was talking to, because I mean, obviously someone Roxanne was supposed to be facing, but because she threw a temper tantrum, it didn't happen. So who do you think the person that Ava was talking to behind that door?
I'm honestly not sure. I'm not sure, and it could have been. It could be. You know, it could now. It could be Julia. It could be. It could be. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I feel like just to the, I don't know why it would be like Chelsea. Just I just feel like it just was probably necessarily not necessary. I feel like that's why I feel like what would be the, you know what I mean? What would be the reason? But I mean, I guess I just more so just I'm kind of curious of what would be the reason to have her there in this sequence. You know what I mean? Like, what does it give for her character or for anything? But I wouldn't have been if it's Julie. I'm like, okay, girlie is done officially. She is done with her duties over in Japan. Uh, oh, I don't know what just happened to my camera. That was weird. I don't know what happened to my camera, but so you put John Cena and then you couldn't see me as well. Well, you put that into the air. You put that into the air. I don't know what just happened, but yeah, I wouldn't mind it if it's Julia. This is kind of the way to semi kind of make her debut slowly. Uh, I think either way she's gonna probably be a pop. It's gonna be a pop when she does make her debut. But I feel like maybe her.
It could be. Are you talking about the one with Tam Nakano? She be oh my goodness, I couldn't look at it. I was like, let me turn my eyes away because it was too much. I don't think it was John Cena. I thought it was Steve Blackman. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't. But it's gonna be interesting to see if it actually is. We'll see. We'll get into it when we see it. The next we also had Wesley telling Ivar that he's next up, and Josh Briggs. If you were supposed to, because he's like, oh, I'm the only one that could beat Oba. If you're the only one that could beat him, why didn't you? Like, I'm really, really confused. Like, genuinely, Josh Briggs, you are very you're growing on me, but also you just took 2 steps back because you wasn't making no sense tonight. So you just went 2 steps back when you got some steps forward. You're not beating Oba, so let that go. Move on. Maybe we'll have like a triple threat between these 3 men where Wesley definitely will win. Yeah, I don't know with Josh Briggs. I really don't. Ivar, now you talking. What is with Oba Femi and the people that he beat just be like, you know what? No, he didn't. Maybe he beat them so bad that they forgot when he beat them. But they still be like, no, he didn't beat me. It wasn't me. It was someone else. That's not gonna work for me. It's not gonna work for me, brother. So they're gonna have to stop with that. Yeah, so what were your thoughts on that? That was the last segment right before the next match.
I mean, I was okay with it. This was part of the study missed though, to be fair. So it's why I'm like a little bit with the comments in this one, but it was all right for what I was able to gather from it. I was they clearly I don't know what's going on today, but they won't let me be great, guys. They will not let me be great. I don't know what just happened again. That's all. But with that, don't do that. Don't put the negativity there. I'm not even sure. My internet bar is actually perfectly fine. Just to the internet. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. No, actually, for once, my bar is not doing anything weird. I don't know what's going on, but this was a segment I was like semi paying attention to only because I was doing 20 things at the same time. So for what I was able to gather from it, it wasn't bad. I don't know how I feel about being the last segment though. Like sometimes when you're like I guess you don't, if you have in a segment or have a match, you kind of want to end the show on a high. I feel like that's something that sometimes wrestling can be really, really good at, and it's sometimes you're like, oh, okay. And I feel like this segment was like, it was good, but it wasn't like something that really end the show, if that makes sense for the week. But it wasn't bad.
All right. Now we have Axiom and Nathan Frazier. They still don't have an official tag name still, right? They really got to get together. Maybe something about speed. And we have them versus AOP, Final Testament, the 700 names they got going. This was kind of fun. Like, I don't know, it's something fun about the really, really big, tag team versus the really small tag team, and then they're doing absolutely everything in their power to just throw themselves. Like, from the beginning, they're doing dual dives, going after AOP, doing whatever they can, trying to get the win. I really am happy how things went, because I was really worried that they were gonna take the titles from them, just because AOP, like, listen, they're scary. They're very scary. Even with Vic, when when they were standing next to the table and they started screaming, and Vic's like, I fear for my life. And I'm like, honestly, that's so real, because I would fear for my life too. If these two large individuals were screaming next to me, I probably would be scared too. So it's easy to think that they were going to win, but they didn't, thankfully, thanks to, what was it? Catch Republic. I'm still trying to get used to it. I'm still used to just calling them Tyler and P Dunn. But New Catch Republic came and did what was right. They made sure that Axiom and Nathan got the win. This is a very fun, very fast-paced match. It got a little slow for a little bit because AOP, you know how they like to do it. They like to slow it down, beat and torture their opponents. But Axiom and Nathan were just a little bit too fast for them, unfortunately. And also a little bit of cheating. But we love cheating when it's for the right reasons. Because you know what? They tried to cheat first with Scarlett. Scarlett, you tried it. You looked fantastic tonight, but you tried it, trying to help them win. How dare you? But you know what? I enjoyed it. What were your thoughts on this match and how it ended?
I was okay with the match. I am not a fan, however, of AOP. I am not. I do not like Karen Cross. There is nothing about Karen Cross that makes me want to watch him on TV. Nothing. And I understand Scarlett is a pretty lass. She's a pretty lady. That's where it ends. It ends right there. It ends right there. I do not. Anytime they're on TV, I'm like, I do not care, like, at all, at all. And so, I mean, I'm glad, like, she tried it, and it was. I was like, and you thought you're not gonna do this to my guys, and she didn't. But I just don't like AOP. Like, I just, for the love of something, I don't know what it is, but safe from what? Not knowing how to wrestle. If that's where we're going with the safe part. But she's just there. She's clearly there to make her husband look semi-important. Semi. Not even like a fourth. Semi-important. She's there to really make her look. Yeah, that's what she's there for. And that's fine. We can't all be we can't all be top dog. We can't all be that. But yeah, I do not like them. And every time they're on a match, I just feel myself feeling so irritated. Like, WrestleMania, listen, I was ready to flip. I was ready to flip her shit. I was ready. I was just like, you know what? Who asked for this? I just can't. Like, to be fair, my Karrion Kross dislike has been going on for years. It's kind of it's not at the level of like dislike for certain other people, but it's up there. I just never was entertained by him on indies, and I never tried to entertained by him. I just can't. No. And so you don't care about Karrion Kross. Let's stop that right there. Nobody cares. Nobody's sitting here like, oh, I want to see Carrie on my TV. You're not saying that. Don't lie. Maybe multiverse version of you saying this, Roderick, but you are not saying this. You're not saying it. You're not saying this. Nobody is saying this. Nobody is on TV like, ooh, can't wait for AOP. Nobody's saying that. We don't need to lie like that. It's fine. We don't need to put that negativity in there. But yeah, I didn't care. I was perfectly fine with Axiom and them doing what they needed to do. and I was okay with that because I would have been highly upset if they didn't. I would have been upset, but I'm just like, we don't do this. Don't. Who is everyone? Okay, George. If this is with me saying nobody, who is everyone? Who is the everyone? Okay. And when you find everyone, let me talk to them because I'm gonna have to ask them, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? The WWE universe, I'm gonna have to hard disagree there. A lot of people actually think he's boring like I do. So, what universe is this? Is this the multiverse version of the WWE universe? It's the multiverse version. Like, this is Earth like nine something that this is happening. This is Thank you. I'm part of the universe, and I damn sure is not saying this. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to find what Earth is happening. What Earth is this happening? It's not on mine. It's not on mine. But yeah. Otherwise, I was glad with shenanigans. It's pure shenanigans. Otherwise, I am perfectly fine. With how it ended, I just really didn't care about them being in a match. It's just like, why? Go somewhere. Take a break. I don't know. Do something that I won't see.
Something you won't see is crazy. We now have our main event. There should be like, I want to get like the horns, like Funk Master Flex. I'm gonna work on that. For whenever it's the main event. We have NXT Underground, and I won't say I enjoyed this for what it was, but I won't say it's like, because I will say my favorite NXT Underground match is still the one with Eddie Thorpe. I thought that was fun, especially since he had, Gable Stevens in his corner and he had his whole, the suplexing stuff. And it was, I feel like that was the most entertaining one I've seen thus far. This match, it wasn't bad. It just was kind of like, NXT Underground is a tricky setup where it's like, it's either going to be a hit or miss. It's never anything in between most times. So yeah, it was kind of like, it wasn't terrible. I kind of got the idea that Lola was definitely going to win. I feel like obviously they were going to go that route. They're trying to build new stars. And Natalya is exceptional when it comes to putting people over. She's one of the best at that. So I'm not shocked that, Natalya was the one that they sent to kind of like do the whole thing. I liked that they showed Carmen training Natalya, because I feel like they weren't making it clear. Like, they were just like, oh, she's training her. But it's like, we never see any of this. And then people, were getting confused. Like, what is she training her for? Natalya's been in this business for however long. You're not really specifying what is she training her for. Like, like she doesn't need training for wrestling. You specify with everyone, when you're doing that stuff. So I like that they had that whole thing of showing her like actually with the kicking, all that stuff, because it kind of gave more context to people who,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It was pretty, yeah. I wouldn't say I hated it. Lola didn't do her. I was disappointed that we didn't get any with the hips and stuff. And I liked how Shayna kind of used Natalya's humanity against her by, grabbing up Carmen and saying, if you don't let go, I'm a lights out on this girl. I'm a lights out her. That's what she said. And Natalya really trusted her, as she should, because Shayna is never bluffing. She don't bluff. I just felt like saying it because that's my name. So yeah. But yeah, no, I didn't hate this match. And I'm just wondering if we get like something else after this. Like, is it fully done? Are we fully done with this journey of Natalya and Lola? Was it just to have that one special match on the card? And Natalya's gonna go back to doing what Natalya does. What were your thoughts on this? And the ending, everything.
Yeah, it was alright. It wasn't. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't expect much from it, and it's just because, one, if you're trying to like create, this type of matchup, I feel like they need a little bit more time. Like, really, if you really want it to make it like, oh, there's people training them for this, that they should have gave them just a little bit more time. But with that being said, um, yeah, it wasn't terrible necessarily, but I'm not a Lola fan, and I know you guys are, and I can't, and I was glad she didn't give her little extra that I didn't ask for. Um, I was like, yeah, please stop with the dancing. Like, you picking the wrong times for these type of shenanigans. Like, sometimes you gotta know the time and place, and this is not the time. So I'm kind of glad she didn't do all that. I was like, thank you, because girl, no, I don't know. Like, while I get that she's supposed to be the fighter here or whatever, it's just like to have. I don't know. I feel like I can't get behind her yet, and I can't. I just can't. Natty, if it's they might give us one more hoorah. If it makes some kind of attack, maybe I could do that. I guess, but we already know. Like, I think this is just come do something with some of the girls down here, and if this is allowing her a chance to work, but also a chance to also give the knowledge that she has, because you never you really hear anything bad as far as Natty doing anything that really creates to the girls or any of that stuff. It always seems to be like she's a decent locker room leader, a good locker room leader, and so I do feel like this helps her work with other people on the roster in NXT. This is a way to do it. But also, don't be having to come down there just for the lose feuds. Because I feel like the last time she was there, she lost the feud as well. So it's like, what is the point if you're gonna keep coming down there to lose? Okay, you need to. Yeah, she does. She does. And so like, if you're gonna keep coming back down here, at least let the girl win or something. Like, stop having her coming down there to lose. And what I get, it's also about putting people over and like the new team talent. But sometimes the new talent ain't that great yet, and it's fine. It's fine to give them some time to get great. It's that time fine to let them get some time to get better. And so it wasn't bad. I just was like, I knew that was how it was gonna be. I felt that when we started. I was like, oh. Yeah. And with that being said, to lose, like, I'm sorry, if I was a wrestler, you think I'm just putting those people over and they suck? Man, please. I'll be Shawn Michaels so quick. I'm doing what? Me lose to this? Nope. They wouldn't like me. They wouldn't like me at all. They will be like, ooh, you're doing too much. I will be. From a win. Because no. Not have me looking crazy. And that's all my only thing. Like, NXT is for getting better, but I feel like if you're gonna be in a story with Nettie, then maybe and yeah, well, I don't do well with shenanigans, so like I probably would just beat people up and stick to the heel stuff. People have to get flipped, but listen, you gotta know how to bob and weave. That's what people in New York do. We bob and weave. Okay, I'm ready. The chops gotta catch me first. Gotta catch me first for a chop. But yeah, otherwise it wasn't terrible. It just, I was like, whatever. I figured it was gonna end that way. I really did. I wasn't surprised by it, but it wasn't terrible. I just was like, Natty came down here to okay, I guess, whatever. But it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's kind of how I feel. Just kind of like, yeah. It ended exactly how I assumed it, and we also got some big body hobby time, TV time. It was 2 seconds, but it still happened. But you know what? Next week we got to do better. We have not seen any big body hobby on NXT for far too long. I'm just saying, I had to put that at the end. I had to make sure they knew. But that is the end of NXT. Spring Breakin is over. The 2-night event is over. Which one was your favorite night? I'm not gonna wait because I already know. Literally, it's been reoccurring since WrestleMania. Night 2, whatever that was.
Night 1, definitely night 1. Night 1 was definitely better. No shade to anybody on night 2, but night 1 for me was better.
Yeah, night 1 definitely was a night, but night 2 was cute. She did what she could. With that being said, thank you to every person that came into chat, that came in for 2 seconds, say hello, or even just to lurk. I love lurkers. You guys are awesome, literally. Yeah, like you could be anywhere else okay? But you're here, so we appreciate you. And if you appreciate us, there's always the Slam Chats. If you're on YouTube, Slam Chats. If you want to support us. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much. Kat, let us know what you got going on. If I'm doing it on the right side, please.
Just basically follow my social media and Cat We Trust. Follow my YouTube. You'll probably find most of what I have going on. It's been very hectic on my end, like really hectic. And so like just keep up to date with me in Cat We Trust and on YouTube, and you'll see what I have going on. It's stuff coming, guys. It's stuff coming. It's just been so hectic. It really has been. I'm stressed, but follow my channels. Follow me there.
Yes, do it. And for me, I have my podcast, the Big Pop Theory Podcast. We did not do an episode this week because you know what? Sometimes people need breaks. We're not robots. We still have episode 64 that is up if you haven't listened to it, and all the other episodes right before that you can listen to. And then you can find me right back here again Tuesday with this amazing, talented, never been done before lady right next to me. I think I'm doing this side. It's one of those sides she's on. And just appreciate you guys so much. So with that being said, later, guys. I'm pressing the wrong button, please. All right, later, guys, for real this time.